actually have a game day again.
We do.
You
We'll have
canceled
that.
on me last time, jerk.
Because I was sad.
Aw. Air hug.
That's why you're my favorite co-host.
We're recording, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
Oh, man.
And that's why you're my best co-host.
So, welcome back, everybody. Yeah, I said welcome back at the beginning. That's kind of weird. But if you listen to our last episode,
we hope you enjoyed.
Shenanigans. Season 2, episode 1.
It's okay.
Shenanigans.
It's okay to admit that you messed us so badly. It's also okay to admit that you never want to hear anything like that again.
That is also very true. So
this is your editing this one, so have fun with that.
That is very true. So
let's make sure this one's 2 hours long, okay?
No more feature-length films. No more feature-length films.
You tell me you don't want the Games with John and James Snyder cut?
We should actually do that one day, like a 4-hour podcast episode.
How about we do a stream? Streams are way easier to do.
No, I want to sit here and talk with you for 4 hours.
We can do that on a stream. We have the technology.
We do, but I want to face you directly.
Why? I want you to look in my eyes during.
Suffer.
Why don't you ever look at me during when we record? Woman, I do not want to hear this right now.
So, as you are all aware, our last episode, some shenanigans happened. We wanted to say, hey, we're here. Yeah. We're back. So, thanks so much for tuning in to last one, and welcome back for a very fun episode. I'm James.
I'm John.
And as you know, this is Games with John and James.
Season 2, episode 2, baby.
We are cruising right along and into your hearts at the same time.
Into your hearts, into your ears, into the minds of you all. Tune in, turn on, drop out, whatever that one is.
So, something John and I have talked about at length over multiple times throughout the years we've known each other has honestly been games that sometimes fly under people's radar just because, as you heard in our last episode, because we did go on a little bit of a diatribe about AAA games, they're not AAA. They're very small studio, very indie-based.
Sure.
And we started thinking, people don't really know where to get their indie games. Like, there's some out there that they do, but there's some that just get passed over because for every indie game that comes out, another 5 also come out. Yeah,
that's very true. I think the savvier customers, the people who at least are very immersed in gaming, like culture or message boards or whatever, how much you get involved with the games, like you'll know like what Cuphead is, or at least I'm pretty sure, because now it's a Netflix cartoon.
That, and remember, it was at the Game Awards as well.
That's true. It's like, but how many people actually watch the Game Awards? I want to know those numbers.
Actually,
with the Chick Hydro Man.
So I nerded out just to see like total viewership. It was 4.9 million people tuning in over all streaming platforms.
Hey, all right.
That was pretty impressive. It wasn't their highest number, but they did have a lot.
Yeah. You can only make so many Sonic movies to premiere the trailer on.
Jim Carrey.
The fact that we learned that his grandpa was Shrek is hilarious.
It was.
And also he choked the camera, so apparently he's also insane.
He was the perfect cast for Robotnik, I feel.
Yes, he was. He just needs to get fat now.
Don't wish that on him. Hey, no, Eddie Murphy, fat suit, Nutty Professor.
Here you go.
Just
white chocolate.
Just egg-shaped.
Egg-shaped. I went with Nutty Professor. I'm like, yeah, Jim Carrey, that white chocolate.
So, indie games are honestly near and dear to both of our hearts because if you think about it, AAA games, they're always going to be there. They're never going anywhere.
They're too big to fail, like I said last time.
They're enjoyable, but more often than not, after the experience is done, you talk about it for a little bit, but you kind of move on.
What was the way I described it when I was talking about Far Cry 6 initially is that like games sometimes like that will feel like product. Like getting something that was wholly created by a unique individual or team, that is an experience that is, like you said, near and dear to our hearts, but it's also few and far between. It used to not be because when you're a kid, everything's magical. But now it's at a point where like, Fortnite dominates everything. And like those games need to be big.
So those games, like they have to be like, I can only imagine the amount of people working to keep Fortnite's island up and running.
Yeah. Shout out to everybody who's dealing with that crap because that sucks.
But indie games, they more often than not, they steal your heart. Like they keep you vested. So I was just mentioning to John actually, Wizard of Legend, I finally beat that single player, and it was such a rewarding experience to beat the Chaos Dude, have the little parade, get my coin, get my Chaos Magic.
You got coined? Nice.
And then come back in for round 2.
Yep. Endless cycle of violence. Hell yeah.
It's so much fun. I feel like indie games, whenever I play them, they get my heart. They like steal it. So even Lost Sphere, which John, he has given it the college try. He is done with the game. It was made by Square Enix, but
I also think it's funny you say it's the college try, because no, I actually finished college. I got my degree.
So even Lost Sphere, yes, it's made by Square Enix, but it's not as well known as your Final Fantasies, your Chrono Crosses, et cetera, so on and so forth.
It's not knocking down the doors at E3 or like Square's presentation. It's not Final Fantasy 16 level excellence. It's, a little experiment to throw out there from the Tokyo RPG Factory, which to me, I'm just like, okay, you're just manufacturing these. But anyway.
Assembly line. Yeah. Insert God, insert silent protagonist. Oh, nope, take out silent. Very loud and obnoxious protagonist. Insert
bratty child. Insert tomboy with black hair.
Insert robot 3 times.
Insert steampunk. You got a solid gold head.
Assembly line done. Next.
If a default JRPG was like the default product, it would be Dragon Quest XI.
As much as I hate to say it, he's right on that.
Yep. But please continue.
These indie games, they steal my heart. Every indie game I have played, for the most part, because there are a few I won't come back to. Mm-hmm. Like, I want to come back and experience it. Like Wizard of Legend, I put that down after beating it. Like, I was like, this is awesome. I'm happy to be done. But I know I'm going to come back to it because it's such a rewarding experience. And I can't think of the last AAA title, with maybe the exception of Horizon Forbidden West, like I mentioned last episode, that I would genuinely come back to and enjoy. Mm-hmm. Like, I may replay it I may replay Tales of Arise one day or a Scarlet Nexus one day. Like, I might replay them, yeah, if I ever get that itch for it, but mm-hmm. I'm not going to go out of my way to come back to it. Indie games, I will, for me personally, I'll go out of my way to go back to them. Hell, one, like John introduced me to Windjammers, the first one.
Aha!
And we were actually at a work function, and we brought a Nintendo Switch in, we brought controllers in, and literally we had, 5 or 6 people from our office, no less,
yep,
hanging out, playing Windjammers, having good time, having commentary. I would literally play that game today, and that was, 5 months ago, 6 months ago?
Also undefeated, baby.
No.
You beat me once.
I did, and Tim, shout out to Tim. He beat you once as well when everybody was still figuring it out because he was the British guy first, and then we banned the British guy.
We banned him because he was OP.
Oh, look, you're over here, ... you're not getting it. It's
Guess what? I'm throwing exactly where you're not, and then you gotta be fast, boy.
Yeah, and Tim beat you because the 5 pointers were up at the top and the bottom, and it was just like, boop, 5 points, boop, 5 points.
We can have an entire episode about Windjammers later, but yes, what you're basically touching on is that you're getting that unique creative soul from a creative product. It's hard to do that nowadays with games that are $70 and they're market tested and they have to be made by these big studios with these big teams that go all around the world. Mm-hmm. So when you meet something that's basically feels like an auteur creation, it feels good. And also I'll note that when it comes to games like that, they have to use what limited resources they have to deliver on their story or deliver on their gameplay, and hopefully, if they're lucky, they do both. And I think that's what a perfect video game is. Because we've talked about it before, perfect video games, yeah.
So
that's going to be another episode. God, okay.
Round 2.
Round 3. We're going to record 3 episodes a day, y'all.
Just living in the studio.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 69.
Stop recording.
No, we need to play Undertale.
So don't touch that dial. When we come back, we're actually going to break down some really fun ones that we personally feel you need to give a shot. They're near and dear to our hearts. But before we go, I want to give a shout out. So as John mentioned the last...
that thing, because the box is still staring at me.
So last episode, as you know, I surprised John with a GameCube Sonic Heroes. And... so shout out to my friend Henry. at Flashback Video Games. I was there the other day picking up a game he had on hold for me, and I saw the Sonic game, and I'm getting ready to check out, and he's like, hey, is this for John? And I was like, how'd you know? He just takes the price tag off, just gave it over to me. Like, that man, if you're ever in San Antonio, go check out Flashback Video Games. Amazing selection. One of the best people you will ever meet when it comes to someone who loves video games like us, as well as loves making sure you can find what you like. So thanks, Henry, for keeping Sonic Heroes alive in Season 2.
Super shout out. I love you, but I also hate you. Thank you for that. Thank you for making the highlight of Season 2 in Episode 1.
So don't touch that dial. We'll be right back.
Peace. All right. Hope you enjoyed that musical interlude, ladies and gentlemen. We're back talking about some of our favorite indie games. I'm going to keep it short and simple for me because if I was here talking about every single indie game that I loved over the past, like, God knows how long, we'd be here all day. So I'm going to keep it to 3 solid recommendations that came out in recent years. And the one I'm going to start on with right away is a game that every time I play, I find hilarious and just don't want to put down. Mighty Goose.
I feel like Mighty Goose, maybe spiritual successor is the wrong word, but we all remember the chaos of Flappy Bird.
What?
I feel like Mighty Goose is a bird game done right in a hilarious, zany, over-the-top, fun way, whereas Flappy Bird devolved into what Flappy Bird did.
Well, okay.
That's just my take. That's my take.
I thought you were going to say it's like, oh, it's a spiritual successor to Metal Slug. And I'm like, yes, it is actually, James. And I'll tell you how that's true. But no, for real. Like, I saw this game and it looked like a goof. It really did. A goofy goose in like ride armor and tanks and shit shooting guns. So I'm like, okay, you've already got me sold. But then I played it and it's the most like action-packed craziness. Big boomstick shooting across the screen, robot blowing up, goose honking, good times are being had. To the point where, like, I'm only 30% through the game, and I'm still finding, like, things in it that just blow my mind and make me super happy. Like, there's a level earlier in the game that's on a, you're flying through space on your giant metal bird, and then you're, like, saving the world or whatever. You're fighting an evil crow, which I think is funny. But there's a level that takes place on, like, a desert planet, and you get a vehicle, which is basically like a souped-up, like, unicycle with, like, a machine gun on it. So it's like ride armor from Mega Man, right? Mega Man X. Mm-hmm. Then you go to a jungle planet, and then I see a hidden platform up in the trees. I'm like, oh, okay, because it's one of those old 2D shooting games where if you shoot down, you'll do like a rocket jump and get propelled up. Mm-hmm. And then I hit a beacon, which brought down a box. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll get my unicycle again. The crate opens up, and it's a ride armor with a Z-Saber, like Zero from Mega Man X. I'm like, oh my God! And I freaked out because I was just like, this is awesome.
So I got to play it a little bit. So my friends were hyping it up, and it blew up to where it even got physical releases. I mean, heck, it was a $30 game, physical release, which
and this is how I'm finding out?
Yeah, there's physical copies.
Oh.
You didn't know that?
No, I got it free on Game Pass.
I'll let one slide. One this episode. One slides. But indie games like Mighty Goose is a prime example. Bigger games you don't have that kind of moment. You'll get 1 or 2 of them in the game, like I'm sure you did with Halo Infinite.
Oh, yeah.
But you don't have the, oh my God, I want to do this so bad.
I have a giant metal duck with a lightsaber.
You don't get those moments in big games. It's games like Mighty Goose. It's like, you know what? I'm a goose in a metal suit with a sword,
with a dedicated honk button,
honking and slashing my way through a jungle planet.
Yep, it's freaking great. Like, I have played, again, I'm so, like, it's one of those things where very rarely in my career of game playing have I actively convinced myself to stop playing a game because it's too much fun and I don't want to beat it too quickly. The last game I vividly remember doing that to me was Beautiful Joe back in like 2003.
Hey, shout out. Good game.
Beautiful Joe, I actively remember loving that game so much to the point, like, I was still in like middle school, maybe going into high school soon, and I picked it up. Brand new day one because I saw it and I was like, I want this game so bad. And I would beat a level and turn off my GameCube and be like, okay, decompress, chill out, because if you keep playing it, you're going to beat it in one day. It's, I think the last game I remember friends talking about it was like Streets of Rage, where it's just like, can't beat it in one night. And he turned it off.
So that's a game, if none of you have picked it up, you can get it digitally, you can get it physically.
You can get it free on Game Pass. Now I'm doing.
I gave you one.
And now you're giving me two.
No, I'm not giving you two. You pay for the subscription. Some people are not as lucky as you, where you have somehow found a way to pay $1 for multiple years. He's doing his victory pose. He's doing the Undertaker on the Harley, driving into the ring. But
Roland playing in the background.
some people have to pay $14.99 a month for it.
I pay that amount too. My Game Pass, like all access stuff, finally expired after like 5 years. So now I'm paying the actual fee, and it is well worth the price.
Anywho, so it's not free.
Kiss my ass.
So, but that game, experience it. It doesn't take itself seriously. I played it for a little bit, and I had a rip-roaring time. Martha played it for a little bit. She had a rip-roaring time.
Goose is cute. Who wouldn't want to play as a happy goose with a gun? It's like Untitled Goose Game, but with more gameplay.
Yep. It's so rewarding.
Yep.
To find a game where everything you could want in a shooter, power-ups, crazy over-the-top action, a dedicated honk button.
Hell yeah.
And just, when you think about it, it's fast-paced chaos done in a perfect little slice of indie heaven.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, it's the thing that I touched on in the last episode was, do people have enough money or enough, like, thought to go small? And the thing is that you don't have to make a game meant to be played forever. You can make a game that's just meant to be played and enjoyed, period. Mm-hmm. Like, that's why so many classic games that I remember playing when I was a kid, I still want to play. There's a reason why I still play Gunstar Heroes. It's because that game was freaking fun as hell, and it's simple, straight to the point, and you enjoy it every time you play it.
Minus the train boss.
I mean...
That boss pushed my cookies in.
Yeah. But...
It was so fun.
Yeah, exactly. So more fun than your body has room for.
So
anyway.
No, I think that was a great one to start with. So one I'm recommending, it's actually a pretty big developer, and it was published no less than, actually, let me rephrase that. It was published by Atlas, of all companies.
You're gonna be okay. Don't worry.
13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim, developed by Vanillaware.
Vanillaware, baby.
So it came out in Japan 2019. We got it September 2020. And it's essentially a non-linear narrative across 13 characters.
It's Rashomon.
Essentially. And it's set in a fictional 1980s Japan with mecha and evil kaiju. And you're going through the 13 characters, and in such a unique way that doesn't really get done with your big JRPGs. Now, it is very visual novel intensive. There is a lot of reading that goes on in this game. If you're not a fan of that, I apologize, don't play it. But when you get to the combat...
I like how it's your recommendations for an indie game. It's like, if you don't like it, don't play it.
I know, right? But when you get to the combat, that's where the reading, it pays off, because the combat, it's essentially an RTS game between you defending a city with mechs against kaiju. And you get to control all aspects of it. And that kind of combat, if you watch any of the reviews, like watch any of the combat trailers. It doesn't get done like that. And JRPGs never really delve into RTS territory when it comes to combat. So
they do tactics though.
Tactics, yeah, they do. Yeah, I mean, like, okay, Final Fantasy Tactics.
And
it's still,
Disgaea.
Yeah, but
and
that's
Fire Emblem.
Grid-based, structured strategy RPG versus real-time strategy.
Oh, okay, okay.
Did you not know the meaning of RTS?
No, for some reason I got confused. I'm sorry.
Now I'm revoking your gamer card.
Oh,
that is a term from our childhood.
Yeah, my childhood too. I played Command & Conquer. Shut the hell up. Anyway, plug your game.
Taking your card back.
I'm taking all the cards back.
So
I got more up my sleeve. I cheat all the time.
But normally games by Atlas or even Vanillaware with Odin Sphere or Dragon's Crown,
Princess Crown, yeah.
They're met
Muramasa, that was a good one.
Oh, yeah, that was a real good one.
The last game I remember 100%ing because I wanted to.
Did you play the Wii one or the Vita one?
The Wii.
Yep. So I actually picked that up recently before.
Great game.
So I'll save this for the end of the episode. I will reveal this future talk.
Right.
But no, like normally when you think of that company, it's titles that are met with some success. I mean, Odin Sphere even got a remake on the PS4.
It did.
Improved the various things that were going on with the PS2. Dragon's Crown was met with giant success. Like there was some controversy with it, but I mean, hell, you could still pick it up digitally on the PS4 and the PS5. It's on the PS5 digital library, no less.
Yep. Giant controversies.
Yes. But anything published by Atlas tends to just take off, right?
Mm-hmm.
This flew under the radar, like beyond under the... I'm going to use the most over-quoted way of describing a game on any YouTube reviewer.
Can I guess it? It's a hidden gem.
You get a car!
Hey, I get my card back. Thank you.
I said car.
Okay, I want a car and I want the car and my card back.
But it's a hidden gem for Atlas, and Atlas doesn't really delve into that kind of territory. All of Atlas's games are in your face. Here I am.
Persona.
I mean, look at Persona 5.
Thank you, Sega.
Look at Persona Strikers.
Yep.
Sorry, Persona 5 Strikers.
And look at Shin Megami Tensei 5. Look at anything Atlas produces now.
They're big. So for this to fly under the waves, and it was received with such a once people played it and actually saw it for what it was worth, they said that we love this. We want this everywhere. It's not hardware intensive. It's not graphically intensive. It's a Vanillaware game.
It's beautifully rendered, though. Vanillaware is one of those last companies that does the hand-drawn look, and I love that.
I always equate it. So you remember the old cartoon, Avatar, The Last Airbender?
Yes.
Hand-drawn watercolor beauty, right?
Watercolor?
I might be misquoting my friend, but it's hand-drawn, not watercolor. Sorry.
I say cel-shaded, definitely, because that's how every cartoon's made.
My card's been taken. But it's like Avatar. Such a beautiful thing to watch.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of effort that goes into that, for especially an indie game, it's indie in the sense that it didn't meet with any success that Atlas normally does.
Yep.
But because it was so received by the people who found it, played it, listened to people to, hey, give this game a shot, it's actually coming to the Switch this year.
Yep.
So it'll be
it's already out now, I think.
I think digitally. So it's April 2022. So it might be digitally now, physical then.
Okay, I might have seen a PS4 box on the shelf then. Okay.
Yeah, no, definitely it's already out for PS4. That is how your boy has it, and your boys played it.
Uh-huh.
So it's not going to give you that spectacle and fanfare of the Mighty Goose that we just mentioned, but if you...
It doesn't have enough guns.
Those mechs need more. Give them more missiles.
Can we get a speaker hand cannon that just honks like a goose at the kaiju and they're like, it's scary.
No, it honks and summons a flock of giant kaiju geese.
That would be the most heinous creature on the planet.
It
would crap everywhere.
I would play the heck out of that.
Hell yeah.
So the
Goosezilla.
Pick it up. You can honestly, you can find that at GameStops for pretty cheap. It was originally a $49.99, so $50 game. I think you can find it on clearance for $20 right now.
Say word.
Wow, I'm boring him. He yawned at a JRPG.
I woke up at 4 o'clock this morning. Shut up.
So
that's not me being an asshole. That's me actually being tired.
But What other indie darlings do you have for us there, John?
Oh man, I feel like I'm typecasting myself because I just pick crazy balls to the wall shooters all the freaking time. But I love this game to death, especially because the music by Shattered Regime over the Bitmap Bureau and all that. Xeno Crisis. This game was crowdfunded and has been released on the Sega Genesis, the Dreamcast, Neo Geo, and of course digital releases on everything else. I want to get a Dreamcast copy so bad.
So I'll give a shout out to this game. So sometime it was like early 2021 that you originally got that game. We had a game day where we're hanging out, we go grab lunch, and then we go play some video games. And John is literally like, hey, you got to try this. Initially, I forget what we were playing at the time. We were playing another one, and we switched over to that. Oh no, we were playing Power Stone.
That's right.
Because we were
another
playing
Dreamcast game.
We were
another
playing Power
hidden
Stone.
gem.
Fun fighting game. If you've never played it, check it out.
Mm-hmm.
You can get it on Dreamcast or on the PSP.
If you still have a PSP and you still want to play on Tiny Squinto Vision, yes.
Tiny Squinto Vision.
And that one actually has the Power Stone 2 characters get it ported into the first game, so that's fun.
So, but we were playing that, and then we're fixing to call it a day, and John's like, hey, before you go, we got to 2-player this. So we load up Xeno Crisis, and we ended up gaming for like another 2 hours on this game.
This game is impossible to beat. I swear to God.
The difficulty is mind-numbingly ridiculous, and it will melt your brain with frustration. But it's so rewarding. Normally, so for me, Souls games, difficult can be frustrating. You're in the tutorial, you died 30 times, blah, 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 Souls. That's frustrating. It's iterative to where you can learn and get better, whatever, but I don't like it.
Yeah.
This, I liked. I enjoyed, we died, and John's, I died first. As you know, I'm not good at shooters. I literally died first, and John's over here like, oh God, I got this. No, I don't got this. Oh God.
I need bullets.
And
I'm trying to throw grenades. I'm trying to shoot in all 8 directions. I'm trying to not get stabbed.
We didn't end up getting to beat the game. We got all the way up to the level. Remember, we got to the level before the boss.
Yeah, like the mansion where the evil doctor is. I'm like, oh, you bastard.
So we got there, and it felt so fun. The difficulty was astronomically high, but it didn't feel like one of those things where I'm just going to give up and check out. I would still play that to this day. If John was like, hey, guess what I brought? We're going to play some Xeno Crisis.
My God, you know what? I'm just realizing now that's a twin-stick shooter. So if you played Smash TV, I know I'm dating myself again. It's like that. So twin-stick shooters, you're or Robotron, again, dating myself. So imagine you're going around an arena and you have 8 directions to shoot in with the right analog stick of your controller. That's how that game works. Frickin', how do you play this on a Dreamcast or a Neo Geo or a Sega Genesis? I want to see that in action.
Well, sounds like you have to pick up a copy for one of those and give it a shot.
I'll pick up 7 for each console.
John,
and I think it's also free on Game Pass. Now I'm just doing it to piss you off.
You know what? For that, he gets a Sonic Heroes.
Throw this at you. All right, but yeah, that game, great. The music's phenomenal. Graphics good. Gameplay, sweet, tight, all that good stuff.
You notice, I'm seeing a pattern here with the games we're recommending. If you look at all of these indie games, everything is very concise, tightly woven, and it's best version that it can be given budget, studio, time constraints, whatever. They give you something for the most part. Also, looking at you, Mighty Number 9, for not giving us good.
Yeah.
That one will say, not in this recommendation.
No, there was a lot that went wrong with that.
We were riding high, and then, boy, the mighty have fallen.
I hope Keiji Inafune has come back from that in some regard, because I'm sure he, as a businessman and as a creator, I'm pretty sure that hit him pretty hard.
Yeah, there was so much hype. And
then when everybody was dunking on the game, he was very quiet. He was like, man, I fucked this up. I screwed this up.
Yeah, that one was not good. But so 13 Sentinels, Xeno Crisis, and Mighty Goose, the ones we just mentioned, if you've looked, there's a commonality. Indie games actually give you a complete package.
They focus on the deliberate experience they want to deliver on. No feature creep. Just go deliver on the thing you do well.
And that's honestly like one of the main reasons we're talking about these today. So we could talk to you till we're blue in the face about Elden Ring, Horizon Forbidden West, Edge of Eternity, Magnum Lord, Far Cry, Halo Infinite.
Games where you feel like you can do everything at any given time with all sorts of vehicles and guns and weapons and all sorts of stuff. But really, at the end of the day, maybe you just want to be a goose that honks at people and throws a grenade at them.
So we want to give you...
It's the idea of a curated experience, a well-crafted experience versus an experience.
Exactly. And so honestly, like all of these games, they're still readily available, the ones we have talked about and will talk about. So give it a shot. Or if you're like John and you have a purchased subscription to Game Pass, looking at you, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Play it on
like
Game
how you
Pass.
pointed at Microsoft like, I'm looking at you, Phil.
So play it on Game Pass. If you have PlayStation Plus, you can generally play it there. Like,
Ooh, Team Sonic Racing is the free game next month.
you are excited, aren't you?
Well, yeah, because I actually wanted to play that game and now get it for free.
There you go.
Well, I have to pay $60 to get PlayStation Online. Okay, now I got to qualify all my statements now. Thank you. Stop clapping or I cut your hands off.
So, but no, give them a shot. These will definitely be time well spent. Out of all of them, honestly, yes, 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim is going to be the longest one because it is a narrative-driven visual novel with real-time strategy combat.
If you like storybooks and you like real-time strategy robot fights, give it a shot.
So I think
I will end it. Give it a shot.
It's a 65 to 75 hour game.
Never mind.
The hope has died.
Hope dies with John. All right. So we've listed 3 games in total, and we have about 3 more games to talk about, yeah?
Yeah.
So how about we take a quick break right here, and we'll jump right back in with our next recommendations. Don't go anywhere, folks. Stick around.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. We are here. Episode 2. John is gonna play another JRPG.
I'm just going to rapture myself. All right. We'll be right back. Sinking.
So welcome back, everyone. So I'm just gonna dive straight into my next pick.
Go for it.
So it's a game that it's a roguelike. It also has horrendous difficulty like Xeno Crisis. The Binding of Isaac Rebirth.
That is a could we put that into indie classics territory at this point?
So it's Indie Love is what generated the new one, and is also giving us the new one, which is coming out for PlayStation.
Yep.
For PlayStation 5. I think the reason why I included this is like when I was looking at like indie titles, I wanted to, track the successes and everything. And yes, it is a game from Nicholas, which we won't mention their kind of heinous practices with some of the stuff that they do. Your face is like, yep.
Yeah, everybody in every creative position, executive or otherwise, is pretty fucked. It's pretty messed up.
I'm laughing because I had to clap and edit.
I mean, you don't have to add the clap and tell people. Never mind. It's pretty.
Insider.
It's pretty. It's kind of messed up, dude. All right. Anyway.
So, but I wanted to include The Binding of Isaac because if you look at it when it originally came out, it was indie. It was next to no marketing, next to no anything, whatever. It's, oh, cool, here's a game. And it took the traction of players and fans to kind of take off. And it took off. And I think it's one of the prime examples of like a Shovel Knight taking off and making it into all the things that it did. So like The Binding of Isaac, there's a card game you can play.
Oh, we've played that game, yeah.
It's difficult and fun.
And also disgusting. It's like the puzzle game where you get bones and piss and shit and crap.
So it's
Yeah, I'm making your job hard this week.
you are.
I'm giving you a hard job.
So it's the pinnacle of success for an indie franchise, I feel, because most indie games are just that. It's a standalone indie game.
Yeah.
This is an indie franchise that has now moved up to pseudo mainstream success courtesy of the players.
Yeah.
Because without the support of them, I mean, cool, it was fun. We're not making anything else.
It's a natural evolution, I think, of a very specific art form. And I think because the internet was such a a very young medium, especially now, we're seeing the kind of what has been, grown out of that, because Binding of Isaac is an Edmund McMillen game. And he was also, he goes, to me, in my mind, it's hand in hand. Is it Edmund McMillen? No, I'm thinking of the guy who did The Witness. Shoot. John Blow did The Witness. Never mind. Anyway, Edmund McMillen. And so he did Super Meat Boy and Meat Boy and all that kind of stuff. And that goes hand in hand to me with the Tom Fulps and Dan Paladins of the world that made things like Alien Hominid and stuff for Newgrounds.com. And that is a very selective, very interesting part of gaming history, because the Newgroundsers who came up and basically made all the stuff that they're making now, whether it's through TV animations and stuff or through video games, it's pretty crazy to see. Because I believe Binding of Isaac was put in its prototype state on Newgrounds.
So you were right. It was an Edmund McMillen game as well as a Florian Himsel game.
Never heard of him.
So
sorry.
But here's the scary part. That game came out originally in its original form, 2011, September 2011. And we're talking it's 2022, and The Binding of Isaac Repentance is coming out this year.
Hey.
How wild is that?
Good job, Ed.
When I think of indies, I think like of indie games, like you have arrived if you're talking of 11-year history. Because I can't really think of an indie title or series that has that kind of success. I mean, hell, Shovel Knight, Terraria, even Minecraft was indie.
Yeah. It's hard to think about it now because you could see kids with their freaking creeper backpacks and Trapper Keepers with like Minecraft Steve on it. But Minecraft started off as an indie game.
And outside of Minecraft, like Shovel Knight, it has a lot of success, but it was there and it's kind of gone until they potentially make a new one.
Well, they're making a new game now with Mina the Hollower, but that's another story for another time. What I'm going to say about Minecraft is the reason why you see it everywhere is because it's big with kids. Mm-hmm. Like Shovel Knight is cool with the gamer crowd who are our age. So you see frickin' Shovel Knight in Smash Bros. And other like Blade Strangers and cameos and Yooka-Laylee and stuff. In the gaming community and the people at large who are our age who play games like that and grew up with games like that, of course Shovel Knight's big to you. Minecraft is big with the kids, just like the Robloxes of the world and the Five Nights at Freddy's. So
The Binding of Isaac, it is a hard game, everyone. Like it's a game that will test you. Combat's hard. Unless you have looked it up or have like their item wiki open, you don't know what the items generally do. Mm-hmm. Everything is kind of in the dark for you.
Some people would say that's bad game design, but because of the way that you basically roll live, die, repeat style with that kind of game, you figure it out.
And it's such a rewarding experience. Like the first time you beat Mom is pretty awesome.
I want to just to cut that out and put that on our show. The first time you beat Mom, it's amazing.
Hey, look, we have a working title. So check that one out. So you can play the OG one on PC. Pretty much, yeah. Like PC is probably where you're gonna get the original one. But Rebirth you can pick up on the Switch, the PS4. If I'm not mistaken, it's also on Game Pass or Xbox in some form or fashion.
I know. I'm pretty sure it's on Xbox. I don't think it's on Game Pass because it's a bit of an older game. And then those games don't stick around, so you gotta play when you can.
Oh yeah,
you gotta play when you can. Daddy Phil says so. Anyway,
and then Repentance is coming out.
Is that a new one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
So and then they made an expansion for the card game, completely random. So we're gonna have more fun with that card game.
Oh boy, it's like how there's Talisman. There's a Kingdom Hearts version of it, and I was very tempted to buy it.
Talisman is such a fun game.
It's fun, but at the same time, like the box, the Kingdom Hearts game is like $90, and I'm just like,
If that will blow your mind, one of our coworkers has every expansion to Talisman. The grand total for every expansion laid out, ready to play, is almost $1,000.
Okay. Sure. Fine. Okay.
Random a bit of information. Play the board game Talisman, by the way. Really fun.
This is a very privileged hobby we have. I'll just have to say that.
We like shiny. We buy shiny.
We buy shiny and we pay for it.
So pick it up. Give Binding of Isaac a try. If you like roguelike games, it's so much fun. It's never going to be the same playthrough twice.
If you like Zelda dungeons, shoot, structure-wise, if you like that stuff, old school style.
You're right. It's a little nightmarish, and it's kind of nightmare fuel.
Oh, yeah.
But
oh, yeah.
it's so rewarding. It is such a fun and enjoyable experience. And honestly, I have it on the Switch. I'm going to go load that up and play that. That is going to be my afternoon.
I'm probably going to edit a podcast episode. That's going to be my afternoon. Not this episode, the one you're listening to right now, an episode.
So, play it.
Play it. The J&J seal of approval. Play it.
Stamp.
It's just my face looking stupid, like, play it.
Cue Law and Order theme. Dun, 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 dun,
In the criminal justice system, there are RPGs and non-RPGs.
Oh man, you broke us. You broke us.
I broke you with that one. I want the Law and Order RPG. That'll be a sequel to SVU, and it has Ice-T in it.
Oh man!
So you're telling me this guy was trying to buff his mana rebuffs? I don't know, RPG terms. You're telling me Leroy Jenkins just got his chicken?
What do you think killed the perpetrator? He was playing another boring JRPG. John, they're not boring. Insert us as the detectives.
I'm the wisecracking one, and you're like the hard-nosed one. It's like, yeah.
Good cop, bad cop.
Hell yeah. So I'm Ice-T. Sweet. My dream come true.
Oh, speaking of Ice-T, did you see that commercial that he did with Steve Austin and Gordon Ramsay?
Yes.
The Tide commercial.
Ice-T is on the back of Honey Nut Cheerios boxes. He was writing songs called Cop Killer back in the day. Are you kidding me?
Bro, it is... So we're tangenting hard, but I literally having the phone call. Gordon Ramsay is spazzing. I'm like, okay, we'll use it, and they hang up. And Steve Austin is like, that guy needs to calm down, and I just lost it.
I could say since we're tangenting, if I actually got in wicked good shape, I'd probably look like Steve Austin.
Hey, look, goals.
Babyface Steve Austin.
Which version? Stunning Steve Austin?
Stunning.
You have to have hair for that one.
Oh no, wait, that's right. Because for whatever, this is sacrilege, I know, but because of my adjacent relationship to wrestling, I always confuse Steve Austin and Goldberg. I'm such a poser. I'm sorry. He came in like freaking Goldberg.
Dun, dun.
I just do the Stone Cold Stunner on people.
The glass shattering. Dun, dun, dun.
Time to play the game.
That's Triple H.
I want to hear the feverish typing of people in the comment section like, that's Triple H, you poser.
Man, I'm showing my wrestling nerd on this one.
We'll get you on the straight shoot with Aubrey, don't worry. Anyway.
Do you have any more to recommend for the audience?
I have a real one, and then I have a straight shoot one, a really quick fire one.
So a shout out.
Yeah, quick shout out because it's an older one I'm sure people have played before. But the one I want to talk about is the game that has taken control of me and a few friends that I have managed to get addicted to it. The long-awaited sequel to Windjammers, aptly titled Windjammers 2. Oh my goodness. I adore this game so much. If you like Windjammers, if you like 90s high-attitude frisbee on the beach where you're trying to play Pong and you get different points and stuff with different fun characters, oh my god, this is the Citizen Kane of frisbee games. This game is glorious, so fun, and it's so competitive, and it's so action-packed and fast, and I just love it. And playing ranked mode is like hell.
He's literally geeking out more than I've seen him geek out for a Sonic.
Shut up. I want to talk about Windjammers. We do not mention that cursed game. We talk about Windjammers. And the cool thing is that it has motifs and things in it that only people who played like Neo Geo style arcade games would get. So when you play the arcade mode, it opens up like freaking Fatal Fury with your character standing on a cliff above the arenas where you're going to go and compete against people, and you pick who you fight in like the Pong matches. Oh my god, it's amazing. I love it to death. And
so this is one you would say, if we stopped this right now, we called this a wrap for this week's episode, this would be the game you would say, I don't care what James has said, I don't care what I've said, buy this, play this, thank me later.
Please do it, because I think I mentioned it in the last episode, but it's on Game Pass, and that's where I play it. I pay my subscription to Game Pass, and I also bought my copy on the Switch. Unfortunately, I don't know if there's a lot of people in having this game in high demand, because the last time I checked the online lobbies for the Switch version, 15 people were playing. Pretty small community. I get it. It's a friggin' remake of a 1994 Data East arcade game, which is basically 90s Pong. I get it. But God, when you actually play it, it's so freaking fun. So fun.
So you heard us on the last episode where I geeked out a little bit on the first Windjammers. So John and I were at a work event. It's a get together, kumbaya, have fun, team building.
Mandatory fun.
Heyo. And so we load that up, and we stayed.
The circle gathered, man.
We stayed past the closeout of the event. We stayed until like 2 hours after.
Yep.
It was such a good time.
It got real, and it was awesome.
It was so much fun. And we had another game day after that where we played. John whooped my butt repeatedly. And
I want to get to Grandmaster ranking so I can prove it.
Ranks matter.
Only in this game. Super Pong.
It's such a rewarding experience. You like competitive, stay-at-home couch games, right? Mm-hmm. They're few and far in between for games like Windjammers. Generally, it's your Street Fighters, it's your Tekkens, blah, 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 right? Your
Fighting
Smash.
Games, yeah.
Yeah, it's generally that. So when you get something that's not really a fighting game, it can be if you hit the other person right with the Frisbee and they get stunned and dazed. It's so rewarding to see that. It's well polished. All of the stages are well designed, well maintained, and all of them have ways to strategically attack or defend.
Yes, right, because each arena is different. It can be narrow or wide and feature bumpers that go up and down. There's even a level in the new game, which is basically a casino, where the Frisbee is like a poker chip, and it's assigned a point. So points can either be where like this can go up to from 1 point to 8 points, and the gates don't matter. So you have to be like, oh crap, this is for 8 points, and you fight harder to get that. It's amazing. The other thing on top of that, too, is that I am always a sucker for design. Game design is my bread and butter. If it's designed well, if it's designed simple, that is a fun game to me. On paper, Windjammers is not a complicated game. Throw the Frisbee into the net past your opponent. It's Pong, like I've been saying. But the way that you can hook your shots, so you have special shots, you have special meter, you have ways to lob the shot or slap shot it back so it goes back really fast, so you don't have to catch it. They added they added 3 moves to the actual core of Windjammers, and it still feels like Windjammers, only more deep, and that's awesome. You can jump in the air and slam things down. You can do like a lob shot that kind of shorts to the net, kind of like a lob shot in tennis. You can do the slap shot like I mentioned, where you just goes bah, and you hit it really fast into their net. Oh, it's so fun. And the new characters have different specials that do crazy stuff.
It's a well-polished, well-oiled machine. And kind of like The Binding of Isaac, like I mentioned prior to that, this is a sequel that picked up where the first one left off, delivered exactly what the first one delivered, which was manic, chaotic, well-managed fun, enhanced it on every asset, every facet, and gave you more.
Yep.
When a game does that, especially a sequel, because sequels can be very hit or miss from non-indie games to indie games.
Yep.
It's like a 50-50. You're either going to like it or you're not going to like it. Like, sequels are that kind of risky. I hate to say it.
Yeah, they really are. Like, I mean, the most recent one I think about, I was watching a video because X-Play and G4 is back. They did a thing called Death of a Franchise, and they talk about Crackdown. And I've loved, like, every Crackdown game.
Did they? Yo!
What?
They took our idea.
They did.
We came out with it first. Oh!
Hell yeah! Thanks, Matt McMuscles, who I stole that from.
If you're wondering what this weird random tangent is for, it's because we came out with Fallen franchises before the G4 thing did.
And also, Matt McMuscles does a show called What Happened, which talks about games being bad. So, meh.
That's individual games, not franchises. So, we did it right. We are gonna be mainstream because they're taking our ideas and running with it. Please give us a shout out and don't think I'm weird for singing this song.
Just ignore him, Adam. You can talk directly to me.
So it's play that one. I'll even recommend that one. Windjammers 2. That is a game. It's what, $20, right?
Oh yeah, $20, and it really needs to bolster the community because only I can do so much grassroots and tell my friends to buy it.
So it's a $20 game. You will sink hours into it, and it won't feel that way because it's just manic fun.
Good, clean fun. Good, clean, competitive fun.
So we're gonna kind of swing the pendulum the other way.
Can I do my quick shout out, or because I'm not going to talk a lot about it?
So we are still swinging the pendulum the other way for a shout out for a game that is not in the vein of what we just talked about, but still an indie darling.
Ah, yes. Downwell, in the game where you go down a well. What more can I say? Play it.
I had never heard of this game. John was playing it. I think this was a few weeks ago. I gave you a phone call. We were just talking, catching up, and I was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm playing Downwell," and I'm like, "What on earth is that?" He's like, "Oh,
you go down a well,"
and I'm like, why would they make a game that way? And he was literally like, why wouldn't they make a game like this?
Yeah, because you have rocket gun feet and you shoot enemies and you fall down. You get crazy combos when you jump off their bodies. You get cool power-ups and laser guns and other types of shotguns, all sorts of stuff. You fight bosses. It's a great time. And hard mode is insane.
So,
all of my games are shooters.
No.
Windjammers is a shooter. You're throwing the disc. That is a shooting game in my regard.
Oh,
it'd be like if we were playing. If one of my games was like a pool game, like a billiards game. It's like that's still shooting. You're shooting the ball.
So that one I've never heard of until he had mentioned it. For the sake of trying things he has put into existence, I will try that one with you folks, and we can both talk about it.
Yeah, if you love it like I do, that game's great. Like it's like. Delivering on very simple concepts in a very unique and fun way. Get high combos. I mean, Tony Hawk, man. You want high combos? You got 2 minutes. Get to work. That's down well, but it's down a well and off a skateboard. Also, if you like Virtual Boy, it's red and black. What can go wrong?
I mean, there you go.
Or you can actually change the aesthetic to make it look like a Game Boy. It has skins, but because the graphics are so rudimentary, the skins are just color palettes. But yeah, I got that game for like $2 on a sale, and I'm like, this is awesome.
$2 well spent.
Yep, I actually played it in tech school. I had like a little like phone stand that's like made of metal, and I would switch the screen to vertical, break off my Joy-Con, and play it like that, so that the actual downwell was more vertical instead of horizontal. Beautiful.
Oh man,
it's like when people turn their screens upside down when they play shmups.
Yep.
It's like, why would you do that? It's like because it's rectangle.
Oh, man. So definitely give that one. That's a weird one, but give that one a shot as well.
Mm-hmm.
So the last game that either of us will mention, it's definitely not a shooter.
Boo.
But the difficulty will make you, like,
want to shoot something.
Hey-yo.
That's a sales pitch right there.
Slay the Spire.
You've talked a big game about this.
So it is literally a card game. You get it's a deck building game that you play through levels with very punishing difficulty, from the bosses to the regular enemies. There's so much you have to manage in the sense of, do I make my card stronger or do I heal? Do I go this route and get punished by fighting an elite enemy too early, or do I go the safe route and now my deck isn't strong enough to fight the boss? There's a lot of choice in the game. It's one of the few games where all of your choices truly matter because you're literally going to guide everything that happens.
You know how I feel about player choice, so
this is one you might like. I'll bring it for you to try. This, look, non-RPG for you to try.
it's still a nerdy card game.
So it's
It's like, oh, you don't want to play RPGs? Here, play Magic. Oh no.
how dare you?
I'm not insulting Magic. I'm just insulting the concept of what we're talking about. The situation's funny, not necessarily the thing.
So I won't take up too much of your time with this because it's a very straightforward concept. Make your deck stronger, advance through the levels. Once you beat it, you unlock harder difficulties. There's a daily challenge, and for people like John, he mentioned ranking in Windjammer. He wants to hit Grandmaster. You can actually see how you stack up against the entire world on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. And I've honestly seen the list go down to 1,600 people. So for you wanting to
So big fish, small pond. Gotcha.
Exactly.
Okay.
So if you want to be that big fish, give that part a shot. But the hard mode...
If you want to be a big fish in Windjammers, you just got to be a lag spiker and just win by default. It's bullcrap. Also, be one of the 49 other people who also play online. Damn it.
So, but the game, once you beat it, it's super rewarding. And then unlocking the harder difficulties, because what'll happen is, going through it, you'll have to collect certain items. And in collecting those certain items, you're also giving up certain things. You're giving up healing yourself in a rest area to get one of those items in the hard mode. You're giving up acquiring a relic to make yourself stronger or getting that specific item. Mm-hmm. And then you have to fight a super elite to get the last item.
Oh, the red armors. Gotcha.
So it's...
That's a Halo joke.
I know.
Yeah. See, I'm glad you did.
I know.
I was like a boomerang. It was like...
And then, yep. Hey, it went back and then just sticking him.
Captain Boomerang.
Oh, man.
Oh, that game's coming out. That'll be fun.
That'll be an interesting one, yeah.
Because Superman looks like John Cena. It's Superman!
Now you see me! That's what the S stands for.
Now you see me. Laser eyes. All right, we're tanging again. I'm sorry.
So once you actually beat the game again on hard mode, you unlock the next extra boss, if you will.
Super hard mode.
And the elite you fight there is very challenging. And then the boss, like the true boss, holy hell. If you like a challenge, even on normal, that thing is hard. It's rewarding because you don't have to do the same thing twice. You can build your deck one way, build it another way, build it another way. It's an infinite variety. And then if you really want to just you know what? I feel like not listening to the game and doing my own thing, you can literally turn on or off anything you want and create your own custom version and go play it.
Hey.
The fact that a game gives you that full control is amazing. It reminds me of Hades that we had talked about a while back. Like Hades, once you beat the game, you get to set your difficulty by activating or deactivating certain things.
Ah, yes. Easy mode switch. Bloop.
And that's cool. But you don't get true full control, whereas this, you get full control because you can make it non-linear. You can say, oh, cool, I'm this character, but I'm going to allow this character's cards to be also here. So it's an endless, wonderful, joyous experience of which I'm also going to play that today. So look at me, I'm playing 2 games today.
Fun.
So,
video games are fun. I'm probably going to play more Far Cry 6 after this.
Hey, actually, you know what? I will bring you later this week. I will bring Slay the Spire for you. Give it a shot.
What about Poison Control? Isn't that the next one?
Oh, yeah. Try? Well, that was a JRPG. This is non-JRPG.
Well, you said the Poison Control was like Splatoon.
Pick your poison.
Which one has the cat titties? Which one has the girl with cat ears and has the titties? That's what I meant to say.
Oh my god.
We all know that Kirby's got the cat titties. Anyway.
So,
have fun editing this one.
I mean, John's next game he's playing is either Poison Control or Slay the Spire from me.
And Kirby because
well, that one's on you.
Yes.
I didn't recommend Kirby.
I'm gonna recommend everybody buy Kirby. New 3D Kirby game? Hell yeah, pick that up.
So
Nintendo needs to make money.
Very true.
They're a very fledgling company right now.
They haven't been around since the 1800s.
Hell no. They used to be pimps. Can they go back to that?
Oh. I actually saw some of the old Nintendo playing cards from like their original days.
The Hanafuda cards?
Yeah.
Nice.
saw them it was a random thrift store. I was like, huh.
No way.
Yeah.
Like, not even like...
It wasn't a full set. It was like 7 of them.
Did you pick them up?
No.
Why not?
They were wanting way too much.
Okay, that's fair. But like for me, I remember the Club Nintendo days, and they actually had a set of Hanafuda cards made that have Mario characters on it. I still have that.
Nice. Yeah, no, they were wanting $100 for 7 cards.
That is garbage.
Yep. And don't get me wrong, like if that was Xenosaga 3 or some other rare JRPG, hell yeah. But 7 cards to just, kind of sit there as like a trophy? No. Yeah, a complete deck for $100 from the 1800s? I could see paying $100 for history, because that's history.
You need to pay more than $100 for that history.
Oh, absolutely. But if they had the complete deck for $100 from the 1890s...
If some clown didn't know what he had, sure,
Like, this is a thrift store, so it's past that point.
I know, but at the same time, like, you're one of the few people I know who will actually offer fair prices to people who might not know what prices have.
Oh, yeah. So, what he's mentioning, what I didn't go tangent off on earlier in the episode, so my retro collection, I actually sold my PlayStation 1
How could you?
Vita, PSP,
Fake
DS,
gamer
3DS,
boys over here.
GameCube, Wii U.
Oh, the Wii U.
And then Game Boy Advance. Like, I sold that off, got an amazing price, making big life moves. I can always, like, my stance was I can always build the collection again, and I honestly love the hunt. I love playing the games, but finding them in the wild or working out a deal with someone, it's always so much fun. And what he mentioned is I'm one of the few people that I know of that I'll be straight up with you. You have we'll use an easy one. Any RPG person will know. Even John would know this. Suikoden 2.
Yep. That
is a 1-disc game that was very under-released. Not a lot of copies circulated of this game.
That's Konami's fault.
And right now, like, you can see that game go for $400. It's going to go on a range of $300 to $400. And if you don't know what you have, and say you're in a yard sale or you're just listing something online and you have it undervalued, I'm going to say, hey, these are some sold listings from eBay and various groups. This is what this is actually worth.
You Antiques Roadshow it.
Essentially, I would like to work with you. I'd like to get this from you. And 9 out of 10 people, they'll honestly give you a deal for being honest with them. They're still going to make money, and they're probably going to make way more than they were going to list it for. But when you're hunting stuff, this is a pet peeve of mine. Be honest. You'll find random deals in flea markets, thrift stores, where, like, actual stores, like a pawn shop. I mean, heck, there was Folklore, the PS3 game that's now $100. They had it for $3. That's a pawn store. Pick it up. But taking advantage of a grandma or just someone who generally doesn't know, because that's not their vein of expertise, and they're just trying to sell their child's games, passed away loved one, etc. That's generally what happens, right?
Can I just go ahead, finish your story?
Be honest with them.
Truly. That also segues into how I acquire games, where, like, I've had cousins, like, I still do, they're still my cousins, but I remember helping my uncle move. This was like maybe probably like 10 years ago, and I had a PS2 at the time, and so I wanted games to play for it. And then as I was moving things, and like, hey, this was from my cousin's room, this is my uncle's room, go put them in there. I opened the box, and it has like Mario Kart 64, GoldenEye, and all these N64 games, an entire treasure trove of PS2 games, like games that are not very rare, but like, all the Jak and Daxters, all the Ratchet and Clank, Soul Calibur 3, all the GTAs, all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, can I borrow these? and my uncle's like, yeah, sure, whatever. And I'm like, sweet. So that's how I get all my games. I just gank it.
Or Henry gives you Sonic Hero. Oh, God, he's throwing it.
I can't reach it. All right.
So
I hope you learned your lesson.
So, yeah, this is, so once again, as you know, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, at Games with John and James.
Facebook, Tamblegramma, so it's all there.
So we are on all the streaming services for Spotify, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts.
And as of last week, YouTube, baby.
So YouTube and Apple Podcasts. So if YouTube is your preference, welcome to the family. Season 1 is there, so make sure you listen to Season 1, catch up, or just dive into Season 2 and catch up as you want. Pick your poison.
I mean, people jump into TV shows and stuff in the middle of stuff all the time. Let them do what they want.
That is very true.
Now kiss the ring.
So, as always, thank you so much for listening to us. Comment. Let us know what indie games, what's your favorite, or which ones, strike a good chord with you.
Maybe you're you were there at the beginning and you played Braid and you're like, this is my favorite game of all time. Or, we talk about a good thing about Hades. Maybe Bastion's your favorite.
Or Pyre.
Pyre, I've mentioned it before. Maybe Transistor. They're pretty much all the same game.
Or Dead Cells. That one was a good one.
That was a good one, too. We pretty much made the 2D Dark Souls. I like how every developer in my head is just that person. It's like, we've taken an owl and made him into a boy, and that's what the premise is behind Owl Boy.
What can we mix today?
We made a child naked, and that's Binding of Isaac.
Oh, and randomly continuing our fun jokes from Season 1, John, what's sitting on your desk there from our mascots?
What? I don't know what you're referring to. I'm sorry.
It's a certain smarmy little exclamation point t-shirt wearing.
Yeah, his name's on the tip of my tongue. Crash. No, it's not him. It's Bubby the Bobcat. He's got his exclamation point t-shirt and his yarmulke. He's sitting there on a cartridge. Yeah, you just rolled into work one day and you're like, here. This is like Bubsy 2 on the SNES. A, I don't have a Super Nintendo. B, it's not the version of Bubsy 2 I played. Get it? Come correct if you're going to do that to me. But yes, Bubsy is on my work desk right now, just kind of staring at me with his stupid grin.
It was, so letting you in on a little of the, behind the scenes life of us. I just stroll into work one day. I'm like, hey, there's a surprise. And
what is it?
John's looking at me kind of puzzled, like, huh. And he opens it and he looks at it. He's like, what? Everything stops and he's staring, the game staring back at him. It's one of the Spider-Man pointing at Spider-Man syndrome.
Yeah.
And I was like, gotcha.
You probably don't have a Super Nintendo, but here you go.
It's a desk ornament now.
I know it's a desk ornament, and I appreciate it. Thank you. You also were very graciously, as part of my Christmas present, you gave me all 4 mainline Sonic games on Genesis, which, yes, it's on my Sonic shrine right now.
Oh, yeah.
And now that one is too. Or, maybe I'll put that on your desk. Anyway.
I mean, well, there's no room because Giant Mastodon has taken over.
Okay, I'm taking that and replacing it with that.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm
going to choke my co-host.
We need to have a moment of silence. John no longer exists. He threatened the Mastodon.
Mastodon's my favorite band. How dare you?
So this has been fun. Stay tuned. We have lots more cool topics this season. We still have franchises.
So fun, we can't even talk about it. It's going to be leaving you in suspense, y'all. It can't be giving it away all the time. Can't give you too much for free.
So thank you so much for listening. We always look forward to it, and we will see you next week.
Yeah. This has been James.
John.
It's potato John.
Is that your impression of me? I'm just like the baby from Dinosaurs.
I'm not the mama.
You hit me with that one more time. Oh, God.
That show ended so tragically. That last episode, it was gut-wrenching.
That was the point. Okay, before we get completely into Dinosaurs talk, stay tuned. Next episode, we'll talk about the series finale of Dinosaurs, okay? So stick around for that. Until next time, this has been Games with John and James. I'm John.
And I'm James.
And this was exactly what I told you it was.
Did you almost repeat it?
Yeah, we're going to go in circles until we're circling the drain, quite literally here.
My name is Don and I talk in tacos.
No, this is Patrick.
No.
All right, we'll see you next time, folks. Peace.
See you.
No, this is Patrick.